You might be wondering what has happened to me in this clip. Well, I was waiting for my IC2 miner to mine some ores, but now you might be wondering, how did I get an IC2 miner? Well, let me tell you. After the last episode, I got straight to work. First task was to get the miner itself. This was the easiest part since I already had most of the parts and they are pretty cheap anyway. While I was waiting for some iron plates to finish, I made some solar panels and an HV capacitor to replace one of my MV1s, which I would use to power the IC2 miner. Once I made the miner, I went straight to the mining dimension to test it out. Unfortunately for me, I forgotten that the miner needs a drill to function. It was back to the overworld. Thankfully, much like the miner, the drill isn't very expensive, but it is annoying. Knowing this, I made double the amount of components so I could also make a wrench. After obtaining the drill, I have returned to the mining dimension and inserted the drill into the miner, and as expected, it started working. But with only the drill, the miner would dig straight down and only grabs the ores that are on its way. To make the miner scan around itself, I would have to provide it with a scanner. There are two variants, OD and OV scanner with a range of 7x7 and 13x13 respectively. It would be optimal to use the OV scanner, but it was way too expensive for me, so I went with the OD scanner. Most of the components were very simple, so I didn't have much trouble getting it. Once I had the scanner, I just slapped it inside and waited for the ores to come. And that's how we got into this situation. Anyway, time to continue with the progression. Hi, at the end of the last episode I talked about a Logistic Pipes storage system, but I couldn't do it because I didn't have enough diamonds. Well, between the episodes I got to work and crafted some of these Logistic Pipes. But these pipes are only the start because they are essentially something like a machine frame from thermal, because all the stuff that we actually need for this project is this. And it's a lot. I mean, to be fair, it's pretty simple. It's just like a lot of micro crafting and stuff that I don't personally enjoy. Yeah. But I'll be back when I get this stuff. Well, I am finally back after more grind than I would like to admit to, but yeah, I have all the components that I will need. So let's start with the, well, start of the system, I guess. So the first thing that we will need is this logistics power junction, which provides power to the whole network. And I think I'm gonna place it over here just for it to be centered with the entrance. And if we open it, you see it's empty. But if we connect it with a connector, it will start filling up. Now for the actual storage, I'm gonna use iron chests because they are upgradable and have decent storage. Now over here, I'm gonna place the logistics request table, which acts like a ME terminal. So basically you can request and craft items in it. But to actually request items, we need to connect these chests with logistics chassis, and I'm using Mark V because they have 8 modules or slots for modules, while the MK4 has only 4 slots for modules. Now the difference between basic logistics pipes and these unrouted transport pipes is that the logistics pipes need to be on corners and connected to machines, while these unrouted transport pipes can just be used to connect different pipes. And here we go. Now you can see that they are all powered up because the red bits on the pipes are gone. And if we put some items into the chests, we can see that there are none in here. That's because the pipe system cannot actually see the inventories. Now to make these items actually visible to the system, we need to right click this logistic chassis with a wrench and insert a provider and a mod-based sync module. The mod-based sync module is just a sorting thing that you don't have to use, but I like to use it, while the provider module is the actual thing that will help us or allow the system to see the items. And now if we put some in, they should be visible, yes, and we can request them. And you can see that they traveled through. Now that is nice and all, but we still have to go here and put the items in manually. But for that, we have a chest over here, which is in a bit of a weird spot, I agree. but if we connect it and put in a advanced extractor module, we can insert items in, but nothing happens. Why? Because we don't have a default output. For that, I'm gonna set up a chest over here, put a chassis down there, and put another filter in. And if we click this exclamation mark, we can do weird stuff with it. Okay, that was my bad. What I actually need is a item sync module, the normal one. But now if we click the exclamation mark, we can click this default route button. And now items that are not or do not have an assigned filter will go to that chest. But yeah, I think that's it. So I'm just gonna deposit all my items into the storage, but for now this has been enough technical talk for the video. So let's do something more fun. But what could possibly be more fun than setting up the storage system and other tech stuff? Well, magic stuff. And what exactly do I mean by magic stuff? Well, Botania. Now there's something that you need to know about magic stuff and mods in this mod pack. Progression lines for magic and tech are entirely separate, and you can choose either way to progress into the mid-game. I decided to go with tech first because I wanted to be situated before I have fun with magic. I know normally it makes sense to start with magic because it has a lot more quality of life features, while machines and tech stuff focuses on progression. Well, that's of course true, magic mods have a lot more quality of life features, but there is one quality of life feature that tech has over magic, and that is storage systems. And say whatever you want, but corporate network is a bit annoying for me to use. Anyway, I think we all know how the early game Botania works, so I just went ahead and did it. A mana pool, a mana spreader, and some day blooms. Wait, what? Day blooms? What are those? And aren't you supposed to make ender flames as your first flower? Well, you would be right, but you gotta remember this is 1.7.10 and it's also tweaked mod pack. This means that endo flames that are usually the first flower that you make cost mana powder, which you need mana for. And the only way to generate mana in the early game is by day blooms or nightshades. So we need the usual mana pool, the mana spreader, and put the day blooms around it. This will take some time because day blooms are just mere solar panels from Botania and they aren't that powerful. But yeah, we're slowly getting some mana. Okay, now we have all the dusts, let's make an actual flower. And here are the ender flames. Some simple redstone. If we put coal in here, it should work. Yes, we have a working coal dispenser for our ender flames. And yes, they are all connected. Unfortunately, that's as far as I will get right now, because the only things I can do is to wait for mana to build up, which is just AFKing, or I can do tech mods, but those are resource intensive and I don't have much of those either, so I would have to grind for them. So that would delay this episode, so instead I will just end it here and be prepared with something interesting in the next one. I hope you aren't mad that it's a bit of a shorter one, but it couldn't be helped. I also hope that you will stay safe and that you will have a nice day. Thank you for watching and bye bye.